Welcome back into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Petersen. We're talking about another Joey on today's show. That is Joey Aguilar and how he could be separating himself in the quarterback battle that we will all be locked in on until the starter is officially announced. Thank you so much for joining me on today's show. This is going to be a lot of fun to keep up with. I feel like we haven't had this much intrigue at the quarterback position in a very long time. I think back to the quarterback battle and the 2021 season between Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker that Joe Milton, funny enough, ended up winning. But it just feels like this one's kind of different. Ever since Nico left, this position has been heightened, a little bit of piqued interest, and those three guys are going to be going at it over the next month or so. We are off to a scorching hot start, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking scorching. 304 subs off of yesterday's video, okay? I'm trying to up the stakes. We tried to get to 100 yesterday. We blew right past it. Let's get to 1,000 today. We need 696 subscribers. So if you have not joined us yet, welcome into the best coverage you're going to find right here on YouTube. Daily Vols breakdowns right here on the channel. So if you have not done it yet, hit that big red free subscribe button. Help us get to 1,000 subs. And hey, if we do it in the next couple days or so, it's going to be the fastest in company history. Vol Nation, it's up to you guys. Let's start by talking about the options. We're going to go youngest to oldest in this sense. We start off with George McIntyre, the 6'5", 195-pound freshman. He was a four-star recruit coming out of Brentwood Academy, 185th ranked player nationally. He's got a lot of raw talent. He just, like most freshmen, needs a couple of reps of experience, maybe a year or so until he turns into the player that we all know and believe that he can. Option number 2, Jake Merkelinger, 6'3", 215 pounds. He's a redshirt sophomore, only saw action in a couple of games last year. Four-star quarterback coming out of Calvary Day High School in Georgia. At the time, he was the 211th ranked recruit nationally, and that brings us to option number 3, the guy we're going to spend the most time talking about today, Joey Aguilar, 6'3", 225 pounds, transferred from UCLA, but actually never took a snap in an actual game for the Bruins. 2 years at Appalachian State before that. 2 years prior to that, he was playing JUCO ball. Over the last couple of years with the Mountaineers, 60.1% completion percentage, 6,760 yards, 56 touchdowns, and 24 interceptions. Now, why does it feel like he's separating himself, you ask? Great question. Well, Eric Cain had a lot of really good things to say after Thursday's practice on 3. He said one area where Aguilar shined was on the run. He throws the ball well out of the pocket, or he did today, at least when they were working bootleg action, rolling out to both the right and the left. There was one rep where all three quarterbacks were rolling to their left and throwing across their body. Aguilar hit the receiver on the money, Jake Merkelinger skipped it, and George McIntyre missed it high. Let's just be real. Right? A lot of this sport is played outside of the pocket. So being able to hit receivers on the money while you're rolling outside of the pocket, while you're scrambling, is a really, really important part of any offense when you talk about college football, not just Josh Heupel's. And this, in my opinion, seeing a guy like Joey Aguilar be a little bit better than both of those young guys, it's kind of where experience comes into play, right? Do you know how many times he's made those passes in a game? Thousands. Do you know how many times he's made those practices or made a pass like that in practice? Tens of thousands, right? He's just played a lot of football and a lot more than both those guys. So obviously when it's something that requires a little bit more skill, a little bit more touch, he's going to be better than them at it. Collegiate games played, 41 for Aguilar. Right? He had 30 around, maybe a little bit less, 25 with the Mountaineers. 16 in JUCO ball. That compares to Jake Merkelinger, who saw time in 2 games last year. George McIntyre coming in with a big old goose egg as the freshman just arrived in Knoxville in about January. And what I really, really like about Aguilar's experience, not only is it showing him, be a little bit better, be a little bit more accurate on the run outside the pocket, but we're talking about inside the pocket. It just feels like a guy who's played a lot more football has a lot better feel for the pocket. Think of last year, okay, when we're talking about who shall not be named. Nico Iamaleava, it doesn't really matter anymore, was sacked 28 times in 2024. Now, some of that was because Lance Hurd and others on the offensive line struggled at times. But also a lot of it just seemed like he held on to the ball a little bit too long. Didn't necessarily have the feel in the pocket around him when it was closing in on him. Well, Joey Aguilar, in my opinion, because he's played 41 games in college, he's got a lot more feel, a lot more touch inside the pocket than Nico did last year. When it comes to practice, I know it's silly to keep practice stats, but this is a quarterback competition we're keeping up with, so I got to keep you updated. This is accuracy on air, okay? Nobody was guarding any of these wide receivers. Joey Aguilar went 16 for 17, Merkelinger 13 for 18, and McIntyre 13 for 15. And when I look at the clips from practice, from yesterday's training camp, from Wednesday's day one of training camp, in my opinion, it just feels like there's more zip on his ball as well. Like it just looks different coming out of his hands, right? It just looks like it comes with a little bit more power than the other guys. And a lot of that is because he's also played a lot of years of college football, has a little bit more weight on him, has a little bit more muscle on him. He's been eating and working out with college programs for a long time. So naturally, he's just going to be a little bit stronger, right? He can put it a little bit on the wide receiver, a little bit more mustard than the other guys. Who do you think starts out of those three, though? Okay, let me know in the comment section down below by commenting their initials. If you think it's Aguilar, give me a JA. If you think it's Merkelinger, give me a JM. And if you think it's George, go ahead and give me a GM. My prediction, and not just because we share a name, I think Joey ends up getting the nod, okay? I think a lot of you guys are probably in agreement on that, on that feeling, on that front. I just feel like at the end of the day, Josh Heupel is going to go with the most experienced guy. Okay, at the end of the day, I would be very, very shocked if I saw Coach go with a guy who has 2 snaps or 0 snaps in college over a guy who has 41. Especially, right, if that guy in Joey Aguilar has a little bit more arm talent, has a little bit more zip, a little bit more power behind his throws like we were just talking about. Like all of those things together in one culmination makes me feel like when we're trotting out there in Mercedes-Benz against Syracuse in week 1, we're going to see Joey manning that first offense. In the end, the decision is going to be made on who Heupel believes can run this offense the best. Aguilar might have a little bit more experience, but if a guy like Merkelinger, who's been in this offense for now almost a year and a half, or even George, who's been in it since January, if he feels like they have a better grasp on the offense, on the playbook, the way things run, I would not be surprised to see either of them get the nod either. The good thing is about Joey, he's picking it up pretty quickly. He spoke to the media and said, I came in with a short amount of time to learn the playbook. So my goal was to be in here every day as much as possible to get those things down. The details of the playbook and just how to watch film from last season to see how things are ran. Coming down here, coach has helped me a lot with that since players were on break when I got here. I love to see that it's something he's picking up very quickly, okay? This isn't an offense he's ever ran in college. Very few quarterbacks are familiar in running this offense. There's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of things that have to go through your head from the time you break the huddle, or let's be real, they don't huddle, from the time the play is dead to when you're snapping that next ball. And I believe Joey Aguilar has all the tools to be able to run that offense. Drop those numbers in the comment section. What do you think his stat line's going to be? Okay, predict it for me in the comment section down below. Give me completion percentage, give me yards, give me touchdowns, give me interceptions. You do your best. Take your guess in the comment section. In my opinion, this is why Hendon Hooker had so much success at Tennessee. It wasn't necessarily like his athletic ability or his arm talent. It was his ability to make those pre- and post-snap reads. His ability to scan the defense before the ball is hiked to him. His ability to see where the coverage is, to see who his post-snap read is going to be. And then we all know how this offense operates. A lot of wide receiver choice routes. His ability to see those wide receiver choice routes and then deliver the hit on the money. You don't have to be the most talented guy to have success in a Josh Heupel system. You just have to be good enough and you have to be smart. And I think a little bit, that's why you saw some struggle for Joe Milton and a little bit of struggle from Nico Iamaleava as well. Because those guys had all the talent in the world. We saw Joe Milton throw the ball 70 yards multiple times. Nico, sometimes when he put it on the money, it made you say, wow. But it felt like they were a little bit slow in terms of reading a defense post-snap. That's why it led to a lot of sacks, in my opinion. And there's a reason that Heupel's quarterbacks typically don't have a ton of success when it comes to the National Football League. It's because they're never the most talented guys. You just have a head coach, and for a lot of these guys we're going to talk about, either a quarterback coach or an offensive coordinator, when he was in those positions, he's able to get the most talent that these guys have. He's able to put them in a system that they're able to excel in because they're smart enough and because they're talented enough, but he squeezes every last drop of talent out of those guys. I mean, think about the quarterbacks that he's coached in his career. Sam Bradford, when he was a quarterback coach at Oklahoma. Landry Jones, Trevor Knight, when he was the offensive coordinator. Drew Lock, when he was the offensive coordinator. Dylan Gabriel, when he was at UCF. All of those guys, especially the top four, they didn't do much in the National Football League, but they were wonderful college quarterbacks because they were able to run his system because his system set them up for success. Dylan Gabriel, we don't know what he's going to be like in the NFL yet. I don't have a feeling he's going to be a freaking star. So I feel like you could probably loop him in with the other guys as well. We're going to get out of here today. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure that you got me on social media. You can find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram. Those links will be in the comments and description of today's video as well. Also, make sure you subscribe. Again, we're trying to get to 1,000 as quickly as you can. I need your help to do it.